Welcome to another episode of DD on the Spot. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. If you're a longtime listener, you should recognize our guest. We have Aurelia back on the podcast. It's been a little over a year since we last had her on, and yeah, she's just on to talk to us again about health and fitness and just all things else that we like to talk about on this channel. But most importantly, she's our current guest. Aurelia, thank you so much for coming back on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, just to get things started before we delve in, what have you been up to this last year? Any exciting news or anything?
For me, maybe I don't know if I mentioned last year because I started a new job because personal trainer is a job what is not completely for me, like what I mean that I need to stable job, and right now these people are a little bit, they are trying many things in one time, and once they want to go to the gym, second day they don't want to go. So I was a little confused, so I recognized that I have to have something really, really stable, and I started a new job.
Is that similar here in the States as it is in Slovakia, where people are just kind of hot and cold when it comes to training?
Yeah. It's similar because, for example, during summer, fitness gyms are almost empty during summer in Slovakia. And when is winter is coming, they want to train because they want to look good. And, during summer, of course, they want to look also good because of beaches and everything. But, they have many, many activities and they don't want to bother with diet and with exercising. And during winter, gyms are full. Completely full. Here it's maybe not because in Florida is summer always. That's true, but still there is some some phases when we are looking in the gym and almost not that nobody, but not too much people, and sometimes we are looking and we have problem to train. That's life. That's normal.
Well, New Year's resolutioners are a huge thing over here, especially starting the new year and starting in the gym. Is that
Yes.
similar in Slovakia as well?
Yes, sure. January, February, full gym. What I said that during winter, you can see this effort that I want to do something, and I will be better when summer will come. Yeah, that's true.
I always love that, where people always talk about, I want to get my summer bod, but then as soon as they get it, they lose it within like a month because they don't keep up with their gym. And
Yes.
so it's basically like a couple of weeks to a month of them being able to show off, and then it goes back to square one.
Yes, because I can tell them many times you have to keep up this training. You don't have to. You cannot, for example, to have 2 months break. I have children. They have vacation, holidays, and everything. I have to be with them, and I don't have time to do training regularly. That's problem. Sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, well, to get things started, I did say the one thing that I was going to ask you again that I asked you on the first podcast because it was so amazing to me is that you were doing 5,000 calories when you were on your preps. What are you at right now, and how? Again, I know I asked you this before, but how were you able to do that? Because 5,000 calories to me, even to me, and I'm 6'3", 210 pounds. That to me is even a stretch.
You know what? I was thinking about this question, and I was thinking what I did at that time. I was training not each day, but 5 days a week, but twice a day, morning and evening. And that's true that I ate at that time every 3 hours. Also, we have this evening training little late because when my husband came from work and we went to gym, and this dinner was too late. That's true. So I am used to eat, for example, right now also during night, because when someone, that's true that you cannot eat during night because you put on weight. And my husband always think about me that that's not true, but it's all, of course, what you eat during night, because I'm only taking bananas or something like that, because if I woke up and I'm thinking, I cannot sleep and what to do, firstly, go something to eat. That's because it's my bodybuilding past that I was able to, for example, drink protein shake. It was midnight. Completely, it was midnight. I drank a protein shake. So that's true that these proteins were for me a huge amount, but I was able to eat also a lot of carbohydrates. In comparison, that this time when I am much older. So I am able to eat big portion, but I am much longer. I am like full. You know that I am not able to eat each 3 hours another meal. That's true. That's a difference. Yeah. But still, I am able to eat a lot.
Oh yeah, and that's, hey, trust me, that's a nice blessing to have, because I know some people where it's the exact opposite, where the moment they eat anything, really, they start to put on a little bit of weight. But how was your sleep back then too, when you're eating all that food, especially in all hours of the night?
That's, for example, I am able to wake up without alarm clock. It's always my husband was that alarm clock ringed. No, I was wake up. That's it's not problem. I don't have to use alarm clock, and that's true. It's not about only eating and sleeping. And I recognize, for example, right now that if it's, for example, spring, I'm losing weight without diet, because each spring I was on diet because it was competition, and I had to prepare to be in good form, and I lost weight. And right now this habit my body remember really. I when I'm talking someone about this, that's not possible. You eat everything and you will lose weight. Yes, that's remembering. Yeah.
I mean, people do not understand how great the body is at remembering stuff and adapting to new scenarios and situations, especially when you're so used to that training and that, the amount of food that you have to eat. Your body can get used to that, and it does pay off even, after you're done. But where do you find the motivation, honestly, to continue this lifestyle now that you're done competing? Because I know a lot of people that once they stop competing, I mean, they still go to the gym and everything, but they don't really take it as hard just because they don't have that end goal. But for you, I mean, you still look incredible. You still keep in great shape. So where does that motivation come from for you to still, you know,
You know what? Still, again, that I am also surprised about me, because I'm working with people who it's not offense. They don't do any sports. I'm working in grocery shop, and really I can recognize that their nutrition and their habits are horrible. But of course, that's their lifestyle is like their lifestyle, and I came there with some sports. Many years training, and I recognize that right now is bodybuilding for me this reward, that I still have this routine. For example, if I have long shift, it's difficult to eat food because I am sleepy. That's true. I am sleepy. I that's hard to again start work, and I drink only milk. And sometimes I put to milk protein shake, some protein shake. Of course, when I come home, I eat a lot, because this deficit is there, sure. But I see that I can see that these people are eating from morning to evening. I don't want to say that junk food, but this food in some boxes and pre-frozen, pre-cooked, and everything, and they cannot imagine to eat, for example, something raw like a vegetable or fruit. There are fruits and everything. They don't want this. And right now, I feel that this is good for me. That I have still this habit that this nutrition of bodybuilding is much healthier. Maybe not healthy for someone who is not doing sports, because sure, this proteins is this amount of proteins in my food is still high, not very high, but high, I think. Yes.
What is one area of your body that you get complimented on the most by people in public?
You know what still is upper body is hands. I don't know, because I explained that my legs are long and it's not strong, and I did everything. It wasn't possible to do much bigger or something. They put something, but it wasn't so much, and it wasn't enough for bodybuilding stage. That's true. But hands, and also right now I have strength in my hands, because very easy is to have some problem with legs, hamstrings. This is not my problem, but I have little problem with hamstrings, and it's difficult to put some heavy weight to train when you feel that, oh my God, I cannot sit or something. But with hands, I don't have any problem right now still. So that's good. And what I am surprised, because many mainly women are complaining about shoulders. But shoulders, when I was younger, we trained very long because we train each part of shoulders, not only front, but also middle part and also back.
I always tell people that when they say that they want to train shoulders, I go, "Oh, what part of shoulders are you training?" And then they kind of look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, "You do realize that there's 3 parts to the shoulder, right?" And then they're like, "Oh, wait, I thought it was just the shoulder."
Yeah, it's shoulder, but there is a very difficult rotation in your arm, and very good training. My husband found it was Arnold Schwarzenegger did shoulders maybe 2 hours because each part he trained and very, very, very precisely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You have that nice rounded. And I mean, I was thinking about this before when I was thinking about questions to ask, and since you started bodybuilding really in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then you competed all the way up until 2019, had you started, let's say, had you been, like 20 years younger and you're starting out right now, with all this technology that everyone has, where everyone has an Instagram page, because I remember on the last podcast you talked about how you were looking through magazines to get all
Yeah.
your information, and that's one thing that I always find very fascinating, especially about people that started competing back then, is that you basically got your information from magazines and maybe a fitness forum online, but a lot of them weren't even around back then. But how do you think your competition history or just your journey in bodybuilding would be different if you had all the resources that people have today back then?
Yeah, always my husband, we were discussed about it that we cannot do work for someone, only we can shorter this way. And sure, these technologies and this information and maybe products what is on the market right now should very, because for example, if I achieved something in 10 years, probably with these new technologies and products, it will be for maybe 5, maybe 7 years. It's about this, but still you have to have this effort that you want to train, and you have to do this hard work alone. It's not for personal trainer, it's you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't even care what they come up with in the next 20, 30 years. You're still going to have to work your butt off. You're still going to have that mindset, because that's just the whole thing about bodybuilding. That's what separates bodybuilders from the average person that goes and works out, is that, they have that mindset, that tunnel vision where they're able to focus on their goals and, achieve great things. And since you have stopped competing, how has your training changed at all in the gym?
What is, because it's maybe like about many things that you have in your mind, that you have trained very heavy, very hard weights, and I recognize I am a little stiffer. It's not possible. I'm doing stretching right now, not so often, but I'm doing stretching a little bit. I am flexible. I can put hands on the floor and everything, but still in the morning I feel like a little older and shorter, and that's problem. There's a very long time for me is to do warm up in the gym, and after that I am not able to train with these weights what I was 10 years before. So that's problem. I had to lower weights. So with this is that I have to eat less, because if this training is not heavy, you don't need so much food for kidney is not good, this protein and everything. That's change, and of course after training this regeneration is much longer. If you train very heavy, like what is for me right now, for my age, of course, so I have to have more days, like this part I cannot train, for example.
Well, I mean, you're still lifting some heavy stuff. I've seen some of your more recent videos, and you were still, dumbbell pressing, 60 pounds on each side and still benching a lot. So you still got a lot of that there. So that's, that's still,
that's upper body is still good. And sometimes, I don't have little like remembering, but my husband, we were doing this 5 years ago, and right now we are able to do, and it's for us motivation, because we are still able to train some parts, some exercises in heavy weights, like with heavy weights. Yeah.
Well, and as you're getting older too, are you practicing more mind to muscle too, as you're not able to, for a lot of lifts, to lift the same amount of weight?
You know that I'm thinking always about my muscles, and maybe sometimes it's not good because I don't want to go to doctor that I have some bigger issue. So sometimes really when I feel this pain is not good, it's better to change exercises or let this pass that day. And that's true that I'm listening right now my body very carefully.
Which is something that I encourage people, especially as you get older in the sport as well, because your body will be telling you when things are wrong, and you definitely need to listen to it.
But of course, it's not that you are careful and it's similar like to be lazy or something, because after that it's not progress. That's really I give up only when this pain is long term, and much stronger. After that, I recognize that it's not for me right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Don't stop working out just because you might feel something bad. Obviously, if a doctor tells you that you need to take some rest, then take some rest. But like,
Always.
yeah, absolutely. Which, believe me,
I don't want.
I don't understand how some people have to be told that twice. But you'd think that once a doctor says, take a few weeks off, take a few weeks off. But yeah, absolutely. Just don't absolutely just stop working out as soon as you feel any discomfort. I mean, obviously, if you get it checked out and everything. But I mean, one thing that I noticed just through scrolling through all of your Instagram and other things is you've done some awesome photo shoots with great costumes. And I mean, you've done quite a few. And out of all the ones that you've done, is there a favorite costume that you've done that's been your favorite?
You know what? I was thinking about this question because really I'm a little strange person about it. I like photo shooting a lot, but I was very bad photo model for photographers because after this diet and before competition and right after competition, it's problem to do some poses, some beautiful poses for me sure, and it was sometimes it was torture for photographer mainly. And I was looking forward always to find some good costume, or I have a friend, she's tailor, and she made this costume only for me because she has a shop for gothic costumes. And when I wanted something mainly upper body, she told me, you have to buy that, because if I am doing for you, nobody is able to wear this, because I was very wide on back, and it was problem, or there was always problem. She had to adjust about biceps something, because that's problem, because it's not for usual women size. But what I want to mention, that also I liked this costume, what was like hard worker, when you don't have to care about, you have pants, you have some t-shirt, and ugly is not clean, is like, that was fun. I liked.
What is one thing about doing photo shoots and about being, like a fitness model that most people would never understand that you were surprised to learn when you got into it?
You know what? I was watching. Maybe I didn't compete, and I was watching bodybuilders, and I noticed that, of course, when there was like competition suit, okay, it was nice, but always competition suit they don't wear, and sometimes they did photo shooting with some costumes, and I was thinking what it's good for women, because no offense, but sometimes these photos weren't so nice. That was problem. I don't have any problem about, for example, to be naked like bodybuilders. It's not, but it must be some some level that you want to show muscles. Not
it's got to be worth it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it must be some reason why, because that's true. And you want to show muscles, and you put some clothes, and these muscles are shaped different, and these clothes can destroy your shape. That's very, I think, should be each woman to think what I'm going to wear, because sometimes this result is not good from both sides, because
It's fascinating too, especially with the angles too in photography, how just one angle can make a muscle group look so much bigger than it is, and just clothing can make it look different. It's these little things that most people would never understand.
You know what was problem? Because when I did this photo shooting with photographers, only except with photographers from a stage, and if they were right on the place of competition, okay, they know what to do and what they want to see. But like these other photographers, they never did photo shooting with bodybuilders. And I came, and he was looking at me, and of course, and he asked me, "What do you want?" And I don't know, I didn't know. I can do photo shooting, And it was for him also like experience to do photo shooting with bodybuilder, like female bodybuilder.
It definitely takes a specific type of person to do, especially just for bodybuilders, and then for female bodybuilders in and of itself, to just be that niche, because it is a different style of photography and a different style of angles and cameras. So that's why when I tell people, it's like when they're looking for a photographer, I say, well, if you just want to get started, then just find just your average photographer. But like, if you really want to do something serious, you got to find the ones that do a lot of the other bodybuilders, because they know how to make you look your best.
Yeah, sure. Because they wanted to do photo shooting with me, but they don't know how. That was visible on their faces. That what can I do? And these poses for photo models, like from magazines, that's not worthy for bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So we are not good at it.
Yeah, you're not a Vogue model, so you're not gonna.
Yeah, sure not. Yeah.
No, and I mean, with all the things that you've done throughout your career, I mean, you were there for almost, or basically, like 20 years you competed. If there was one thing that you could change about your bodybuilding career, what would it have been?
Yeah, I was thinking also about it, and you know what? For me, is very sad that I should compete the time when bodybuilding was starting. Corey Everson and Anya Langer, this era of bodybuilding, female bodybuilding, this was golden era.
Oh, your look back then probably would have won it.
Yeah, but still, when I'm on Facebook and they put these photos, and many fans, I'm reading comments. This was a good bodybuilding for female, and this time, of course, that probably it must be some challenge and some improvement, but because my career was. Little mainly in pro division, was problem that I wasn't big enough. That was my problem. I wasn't able to be compared with some females which were almost doubled like me. That's problem. So it will be better if I started compete 20 years ago, but I was young.
I've always said that golden age bodybuilding look, they need to try to make that come back, because that was really where you looked at them and you're like, that's bodies that I think they could also market to the general public, and they could say like, hey, this is a good body look. So what do you think has changed, especially recently, because everyone just seems to have gotten so big now that it's gotten out of proportion?
I don't know. I was very sad also when it was a women physique category invented, or they was put on stage, and I was thinking that's good. There will be smaller, there will be less ripped female, because really this diet and this amount of water under skin is horrible, is dangerous, everything. And what I wanted to say is not very. People don't want this. Always it was that you can have big veins, visible veins, and everything. And women physique, when this category was on the stage like first time, it was written in the rules. You cannot be ripped too much. You have to have smaller muscles, not ripped too much. But this time, when you are looking, women physique competitors is the same like bodybuilders. It's the same. It's like together. It's category together.
I really do wish as well that they had like a clear-cut difference between the competitors that you saw for physique and bodybuilding, because physique came around for the people that didn't want to be as big as the bodybuilders, but they still wanted to have a lot of size and a lot of symmetry, but they just didn't want to be as shredded too as well. And the shredding too. I mean, the way that people look now, I'm surprised that most people just don't dehydrate on stage, but it's just it's gotten to a point now where it's like they want you at almost negative body fat now. So I don't know, but yeah, I do agree things are getting, and I do think especially like with this year where things might be getting a little bit better now, where they might want a little bit more of a fuller look where you're not as shredded, but we'll see, because I have no idea what they're looking for a lot of times. So yeah.
I don't know if they are able to, to get back this style, because this style is on the stage and it's difficult only to change rules or something to
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
to put the rules. No.
One thing that I always find interesting when I talk to bodybuilders is that, bodybuilding was a choice for them to get into it, and there would also have been another choice not to get into it. So where do you think your life would be at had you never walked into that gym? What do you think you'd be doing right now?
Yes, my husband told me it will be horrible, horrible, because I was slim, very tiny, and right now still I have this shape that I am not only that I am bones and skin, and still I have some muscles, and that's good. And if I am not if I am, dressed that I cover this body, still is not that I never done something with my body. It's still visible that I did. Mainly still in grocery shop, they watch at me. You have a big back, like very wide back. It's visible that still I was doing, and really bodybuilding brought in my life discipline regarding food, because before, or if I'm not doing any sport, I think I will eat, whenever and whatever is probably, because it was before. So right now I can see this what I said, reward that still my health, I hope, because I'm only after general checkup that I am healthy. And, this flexible, movable, I have strengths, I can do many, many things, which in my age is, that they are not able to do. And that's for me is right now my big happiness.
What is one lift or one thing that you can do in the gym at this age that you're most proud of?
You know what? I always trying to do this. I don't know if it's English. Is basic exercises like squat, like bench press, or like pull up for back, and it was some strange research that if a person is able to do like with own weight, like a squat. So me right now I have around 150, 160 pounds. So squat with this, bench with this, you are healthy. so I'm thinking that I'm healthy, and always what is old school of bodybuilding, I'm trying to do more free weights like machines. Sometimes these machines right now I'm using, that's true, but always I'm trying to do free weights because it's much worthy for me, and I am really proud of it that I am able to do that. And I also, from people in the gym, they always told me that you are good because you are doing this what we didn't do at all. That's true, that they choose always first machines. And no matter if they have some injury or something, because it's for them more comfortable to do machines. Yeah.
Does it amaze you, especially having so much experience in this lifestyle and just being so fit and healthy, just seeing all of the trends that pop up every single year with the younger generation? Because even for me looking at this, I just turned 30 a couple months ago, and even looking at it now, like I'm shocked how every month there seems to be a new trend in the gym.
Yeah, sure. And also we have also some section of this, and some of this we don't know what they are doing, but always is that in my mind is that base of this sports is bodybuilding. And they think, for example, we noticed this style of training F45. It's for 45 minutes. They are doing very fast. exercises with some bar and weights and everything. And always for these people is only short term of this amusement that okay, something new, and after that they don't want to that. And again, you can see that they are doing barbells and this. So that's for me is like okay, maybe if I am younger, I maybe also I want to try something new, because that's advertisement, commercials, that's good, try it and everything. But right now I'm satisfied with bodybuilding.
Well, I think especially with people's attention span this day and age, everyone just wants to try something once, and then if it doesn't really work out for them, then they just give up. Or that's why I'm shocked that there's as many bodybuilders, especially younger now. And what's that like for you, just to see how more and more women are getting into being fit and healthy now than ever? Like, especially if you look on Instagram and stuff, there's just so many more. Even from when I started doing this podcast 6 years ago, it has really taken off.
Yeah, that's on one side is very good. For other side is what I noticed that, for example, right now is much more women in the gym like men. But when they are older, after that is much men in the gym when they are older like women, because maternity and everything, finish school, job and everything. And I think that's problem that they have to keep up whole life this style. That's good.
I just think it's the generational thing too, where with the younger generations, yeah, like you said, they haven't experienced a lot of times maternity and jobs and other things. And
jobs, yeah.
I think that once they get their feet wet, hopefully a lot more of them will stay. But I think just with the older generations who never got into it when they were young, so they never really developed that base. But yeah, I'd like to see where it's at, even like 10 to 15 years. And bodybuilding is something that I think you can take a lot of life lessons from, just from the dedication that you have to compete and do a prep alone. I mean, I've always made the joke that if you can do a prep, you can really do anything in this life. But what are some life lessons that you think bodybuilding has taught you and you've been able to use in other aspects of your life?
That's problem, and bodybuilding is very hard sport because you very fast, you lose what you achieve. That's problem. And maybe I am also was sometimes surprised that when I saw in Slovakia on TV former bodybuilders and bodybuild female or man, and they looked like common people without without some experience of sport. And what they did, because they finished with competitor career and they started eat, they probably don't go to gym anymore, and they look normally. And that people are thinking that, oh, I will keep it. Not you lose it if you are not going to the gym. You lose, and really very fast. This strength must be trained. It must be regularly trained.
Yeah, people do not understand how quickly things can go sideways after that. A lot of people think that like, oh, I might have a few years where I look. It's like, no, not really. I mean, unless you do like even a base amount. Now I know some people that just go to the gym just to maintain, and that's great. Just at least you're going in. But like, yeah, I know other people where they just completely let it go, and then even if you see them 6 months later, they look like almost a new different person. I mean, they might still have a little bit of size left, but it's like recognizable, but that they've changed a lot. So I always tell people it's like. Yeah. Maintenance is not that hard. Just going to the gym like 2 to 3 times a week, just to somewhat keep a little bit of it. So
yeah, what I wanted to mention that right now I don't have maybe I don't have so much energy after my job, but always I am able after shift to go to the gym. If it's only short training, still is worthy, because for example, big problem of this store employees is pain in foot, because we are sometimes over 8 over 9 hours on the foot and on the feet, and that's problem. That what to do. And I told them, go to gym, you can train upper body, and this pain is gone, because you have to move blood, you have to move, not to sit, that's break sitting. It's not good break, or better to lying something, to put feet a little higher or something, but it's not possible. But go to the gym and to do something with your body. Short training, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and I am good.
Have you ever tried working out before work? Because for me, I have a job where I also walk, like 15,000 steps every shift. So I am dead afterwards, where if I don't get a workout before my shift, it's hard for me to go afterwards.
Yeah, for me is before work. I will curse everything. That I recognize that if I am able to do that, I am not in good mood. And after a job, I am. Some energy is in my body, and my husband come with car, and I have some protein or bananas, and really immediately go there. And right now, of course, it's maintaining of training to keep my body in good shape and healthy condition. And that's good that after work I am able to go train. Yeah.
Are bananas one of your favorite foods?
No, not really, but it's good for muscles, and that's problem in Florida are very sweet. In Slovakia, not so much, so that's problem. And it's good when you have, for example, dirty hands. You don't have to wash. You can eat. It's really very practical food for me. Because you have to put food in some boxes and everything, and bananas is like a habit that okay, you can peel it and eat it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, being in Florida, I do got to ask, have you ever had any encounters with alligators or crocodiles?
On TV I saw, and we drove to Miami and for example, Key West, and we wanted to see them, but we saw maybe only underwater some part of them, but I didn't see.
So the funny thing is, I've been to Florida for 1 week when we went in high school for our baseball team went down to Florida for our spring training. And
Yeah.
the first night we were there, we saw 2 crocodiles.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah, well, they were right outside the baseball complex that we were staying at. We were just walking to our bus, and then we saw just 2 crocodiles hanging out, and we're like, "Oh my God!" And they were not small crocodiles; like they were big ones. So it was our welcome to Florida moment, I really guess. So, but I guess we really just lucked out with that. But what are some of the hobbies that you have outside the gym that most people wouldn't know?
You know what? If I have time, I like knitting and crocheting. That's what I'm doing. Like this homework, and really,
That's a good forearm workout too.
yeah, because it's good for health. I read that it's good for heart, but I don't have right now enough time. But really, if I'm doing everything what is necessary. I like to be home or to went to a restaurant and to not to do a lot. Because my style is active, and after that I'm lucky when I'm sitting. That's true. That's of course this homework is not very like my husband always for why you are cleaning and something like that, but it's necessary sometimes. And what I said that only like this type.
That's another thing that almost makes me laugh is people say like, "Oh yeah, I want to date someone who's like really fit and in shape because they must have a lot of energy." And then I tell them, "Well, they waste most of their energy in the gym. So outside of the gym, it's not
Yeah,
like you're going to be going on hikes every day and like exploring stuff. Like a lot of times they're really tired because they spend a lot of their time in the gym. So that's one thing that I almost want to just tell them like, "Hey, just warning you, like you're not going to be able to, travel and adventure every single day with these
yeah,
people just because you think that they are."
sure. Of course, I would love to traveling more often, but really, our style is not this style that we cannot be always on. And on other side, I traveled a lot when I was competitor.
Yeah.
That's really that was enough.
That's the thing that I think a lot of people in the States really miss out on is that if you're a bodybuilder in Europe, you get to travel to so many different countries just
Yeah.
competing. Whereas over here, everything is here. I mean, you might get to go to Canada for a little while or for something, but other than that, like you're just in the States the entire time. But I've talked to people, they're from France, Germany, Slovakia, Norway, Sweden. They travel to all these countries competing.
Yeah, but many people. Oh, you traveled a lot and you saw many beautiful cities and everything. But that's true. But I have to tell that I was on diet,
And
and
you were in a hotel most of the time, let's be honest.
yeah, I wasn't able to to go outside for a long walk and to watch because I was on the hotel room sitting and waiting for competition. To put these layers for competition stage and everything. So mainly what I remember are hotels. That's true.
For someone who has never experienced what it feels like to be that dieted down, especially when you're getting ready for a show, how could you describe what that feels like inside just to be that lean and that dieted down?
You know what? That's when I started dieting. It was very positive because the body felt much more energy. Because I started to lose body fat, and its energy, and I feel very good. But before competition, 2 weeks before competition, it was horrible. It was very very tough. I felt very tired from morning. I felt good when I was in the gym, like training. It was good because you were in movement somehow, and okay, this this weakness disappeared. But after training and before training, I was still tired and tired. These 2 weeks, it was horrible.
Again, that is another thing where people talk about, oh, they just must feel so good when they look like that, when they look like they're on stage. And I almost want to just, choke them and be like, no, these people are like suffering beyond measure. Like
Yeah,
they feel absolutely horrible. Like
yeah,
there's so
yeah.
many times that like I've had stories of people go up to bodybuilders and be like, God, I just want to look like that all the time. And then they just tell them, trust me, you don't want to look like this
No, no,
24/7.
sure not. Mainly if it's joined like 2 days before competition when you are dehydrated. It's not possible to keep. Sometimes also I was thinking that someone looks like dehydrated longer time. I don't know how it's possible, but for me this dehydration was very, very tough because you have very low blood pressure, and that's problem. That's good bananas. That's because you can get heart attack or something. That's very difficult.
What would you say would be some of the differences that you noticed when you were competing in shows in Europe as opposed to competing in shows in the United States? Were there any differences in either like how the shows were run or just what the experience was like competing in them?
You know what? Differences there are sure, but of course, what is good in comparison Europe and USA, much more bodybuilders on the stage, much more very prepared, very well prepared bodybuilders on stage, and and for them it was much like show what you have, what you were able to do with your body and everything. A very positive atmosphere behind stage, on the stage, and everything. These competitions in the USA were very 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 good. That's true. In Europe is much more about to compete. That's we are not very very happy or something. We are not very friendly during competitions, and that was good. And also for me, very very nice experiences to compete in USA, for example. So.
How much of a shock was that to you when you first started coming over to the United States? How much more friendly Americans are, especially on the street, to you as opposed to a lot of Europeans? Because we hear so many stories about how that shocks so many people at first.
Yeah. That's maybe I mentioned before that really in USA people are used to see bodybuilders, female probably, so of course men also, and for them is like, okay, you like it, you look great, and that's your problem. But in Slovakia, for example, exactly in Slovakia, why are you doing that? Uh, it's more negative attitude to your sport. Why are you doing bodybuilding? Why not something else? I don't know which sport I can do, but that was very, for me. It wasn't cheerful. It wasn't cheerful when, of course, not to mention that these comments about uh, my body, they weren't always nice. That's problem. And in USA, I have never heard something about it like negative, negative way. And
That's something we found, yeah, in Europe. A lot people are a lot more reserved, and they kind of, they aren't normally as friendly to bodybuilding, just because I don't think they see it as much, and it's just not really a part of their culture as it is here. But yeah, that's what I've heard, especially over here in the U.S., where people are a little bit more accepting of the sport. But I mean, you still
yeah,
might get your negative comments every once in a while. But for a lot of people, they say like, oh, it's so much better over here, which is I'm really glad to hear that.
yeah, that's true. That's true because I have never heard from someone else that some comment that, oh, I was there and it was the same like in Europe. It wasn't. It wasn't.
And what would be your best piece of advice for someone who's just thinking about getting started in the sport in this day and age?
Right now, maybe what is most important to choose category, which category he wants or she wants to compete, because these categories are, I don't know how much, but really you can choose, because for example, for me, because I am too tall for bodybuilding, and sure, maybe will be better to do I don't know if a figure or a bikini, I don't know, because you have to choose how you look, your shape, if you are shorter, taller, or if you have right now newest category is wellness, for this very short with big muscles, not upper body but legs and this. So you have to choose category, and I am surely I am not going to tell someone don't do that, because if you feel like I am feeling that I was born to be bodybuilder. I'm feeling still, and I am not regret it. I was bodybuilder. When someone asked me what you are doing or what you were, bodybuilder, they are surprised. Bodybuilder, that for them, like, better not to tell you, but I'm proud of it. So
Absolutely. It's something that you should wear as a badge of honor. It's something that took so much hard work and dedication, and you were big in the sport and you competed for such a long period of time. Absolutely. You should definitely be proud of that. I mean, I certainly would myself. And for the rest of this year, do you have any nice things planned to do, or anything that you plan on accomplishing for the rest of the year?
once more, please.
Oh, do you have any plans for the rest of the year, or anything else other than bodybuilding? Anything that you're looking forward to the rest of this year? Anything coming up?
I'm thinking right now, because it's end of year almost. I don't know, but really what I like that I'm always involved in bodybuilding, and I'm watching these pages. Not I don't like when someone tell me that I don't want to watch it anymore. That they finish compete and they don't want to hear some information or something about it. And of course. If there will be someone who wants to train, I will find time to train someone. But right now I have a job, so it's a little bit more difficult.
Well, and last time we talked about you played a little hockey. Do you still do that?
Yeah. What I wanted to say, that when I have a day off, so I'm training legs when I have day off, and one part of my training legs is ice hockey.
That's one of the best workouts you can ever get for legs.
Sure. And when it's still hot outside, it's very good to go to rink, ice hockey rink, and to cool down a little bit, and it's very, very good for heart and for veins and everything. And because in comparison in Slovakia, during summer, usually ice hockey rinks are closed. In Florida are open, so that's good. That is place when you can do different sports like bodybuilding, but still is related to muscles. Still, I am not very fast or something. I'm not good skilled, but still I can do something for me.
No,
Nice.
that is great. And I mean, Aurelia, I cannot thank you enough for coming back on and talking to us and
Thank you. I thank
asking
you very
questions.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were a great guest, and everyone go and check her out on her Instagram page. I'll leave a link down below. And yeah, thank you again. And if you have anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to or anything else you'd like to say, go ahead.
Thank you very much for having me again. I am very lucky that I can tell something, because sometimes I was thinking that if I will not be competitor, it will be everything close and done, but not. Still, I have some fans which are with me, and they very often write me some very nice mails, and I am very lucky for that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That's one thing that a lot of people don't realize, that once you retire, your career is not completely over. There's a lot of people that still are fascinated by, what you're up to and everything. So again, everyone go and check her out. And this is Ryan Johnson, DD on the Spot, signing off. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you very much.